Good morning to each and every one of you, to all of the patrons, the YouTube channel members, and of course the Twitch subs. And thank you so much for joining me on this. It's Monday. Sorry, yeah, it's Monday. All right, so thank you for joining me on this Monday morning, or afternoon in my case. But whenever you're watching it, I do have my coffee right here with me. And of course, most of you know, these are vlogging series, so it's pretty much whatever I'm doing during the day, whether it is looking for new content or, just having something on my chest that I want to talk about that is personal or that doesn't really have anything to do with the channel, so it's not necessarily gaming related specifically. And today's video is going to be one of those. It's going to be a bit more vlogging, a bit more just the discussion, not really anything game related, because I already have some shit that I want to talk about in the gaming sphere. As you can see here, Jari from Method put out a massive statement about the esports prize pool fiasco and a lot of stuff that happened at BlizzCon, so I'm definitely going to be talking about that. We have some Diablo 4 rumors that I'm not yet sure if I'm actually going to talk about or cover. May or may not, who knows. Anyways, I'm not yet convinced that I'm gonna put this out for everyone. I think this is just gonna be a coffee, a good morning with you guys, rather than making it public for everyone. But you can let me know if you think this is a message that should go out to the majority of people. Let me know in the comment section down below. Alternatively, I'm just gonna keep it between us. So the phrase "when life gives you lemons, make lemonade" is something that I think oftentimes we completely misunderstand. We completely overlook its significance and why it's so important. And this video doesn't come out of nowhere, just to be clear. There is an active reason why this video is being made. Earlier today, I saw on Mr. GM's Twitter that he didn't want to stream today because his stream hasn't been doing too hot lately. Even though I think his stream is fine, and in his mind, his stream isn't doing too hot lately, and he's just struggling with that motivation that one needs in order to go live and entertain your audience for 3 or 4 hours. So I completely understand where he's coming from. It's really hard, and especially as a content creator, it is hard. There are things that you do that you barely get views for, and you kind of ask yourself, well, what's the fucking point of this? Right? What's the point? I'm doing all of this stuff, but no one's watching, or my views aren't growing, my channel isn't growing. What am I supposed to do? And in the life of a content creator, you have to first understand, and many of you might want to be content creators one day, so hopefully this helps. I know for a fact there are a lot of people that want to stream or want to make videos and things like this. We work in seasons as content creators. You have seasons of growth, and then you have seasons that's kind of meh and just nothing happens. And you have to be the one to acknowledge the significance of those seasons where nothing happens, because it's not supposed to be that way. It's not like it's the rule of the universe that you're just always going to have these ebbs and flows that you can't do jack shit about. It's more a case that as a content creator, you can never allow yourself to become stale. The second your content becomes stale and it stays the same and you're not really growing as a content creator, your audience also tends to kind of, waver off. Not because they don't like your content, it's just after a while of watching the same content creator, you do hit this kind of place where you're seeing the guy's newest video and you're like, I'm not really in the mood to watch it now. I might watch it a little bit later, and that later turns into almost never. And sometimes this can last 6, 7 months, a year before you return to this specific content creator's content. So in a lot of ways, you have to acknowledge that these ebbs and flows are very important, because when you're in one of these slumps and your channel is just not growing, that's where "when life hands you lemons, make lemonade" becomes such an important tool for you to use. And I think I'm in one of the best positions to actually speak on this. My year has been a slump, a massive slump, going into a phase of, shall we say, staleness, and then eventually going into a phase of a bit of growth, slowly but surely. Starting to grow again, starting to become bigger again. So I think most of you know this, but those who don't, I'll just give a quick recap. At the beginning of the year, for one reason or another, I hit a massive amount of depression. Like, my depression was really high. It was the first time in my life that I'd ever felt depressed, and it was a horrible feeling. So if you're someone that struggles with depression every single day, holy shit, do I have a lot of respect for you for getting out of bed in the morning, because it is rough, dude. It is so rough to know that this isn't the way life should be. Like, you know in your mind that you shouldn't feel this way, but you just have, there is no motivation for anything, and this hit me. So my content started to suffer because of it. I started to make angrier and angrier content as my mood grew darker and darker, and because of the angrier and angrier content, my channel started doing worse and worse, and I eventually ended up losing something like 1,500 or almost 2,000 subs, actually. I was close to 27,000 subscribers before the slump happened, and I ended up with 2,000 or 25,200 and something subs, right? So close to 2,000 subs just took their stuff and fucked off. And these are active subs, right? These aren't, it's horrible when people start leaving your channel, because the people that leave your channel are active subscribers. These are people that watch your videos, and they watch a couple of videos and they go, fuck it, I don't like this guy's content anymore, I'm just going to move on. So it creates this kind of vicious cycle where your channel isn't doing well, which makes you even more depressed, which means your content suffers even more. And it took me actively just one day putting my foot down and just slamming the brakes and saying, no, you have to stop this. You have to take this darkness, this anger, this sadness that is in your heart, and you have to channel it into something more positive. That's the only way you're going to get out of this. So I started making a video where I apologized for the amount of videos that I've made that was just completely subpar. I opened up a little bit about what I went through, and then I went into an era of staleness where my channel wasn't really growing. It was, yeah, it would grow like maybe 10 subscribers a week, maybe sometimes 100 subscribers a month, but it was finally at least growing. It wasn't losing subs anymore. Every once in a while I would lose a ton of subs, but you know, this was fine. But I could tell that while a lot of people stuck around because they were hoping I would get back into speculation, for a lot of people, the channel had reached a certain amount of staleness, and some change was needed. Some change was definitely needed. And I've experimented. That's the thing, right? Now, instead of sitting there wallowing about, oh my God, I go out and I change things. And one of the best changes I ever made was re-adding the live streams to the channel. Because this channel started off as a community channel. That was the point always for me of making YouTube videos, was getting opinions from a wide range of audience, right? From a wide range of viewers. So I love that. And re-adding the live streams every Sunday really started to make the channel feel like mine again. It brought me back to those days when I first started making YouTube content, and I would do live streams whenever I fucking could. Like, whenever I had an opportunity, I would do a live stream, just to hang out with people, and I would talk about just anything. And I at some point I had this Good Morning episode like what we have now, but it was called Coffee with Accolonn, and it was actually a live stream every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a day, where I would sit, I would have coffee, and I would just talk to the stream. And it wasn't the biggest streams. It was like 30, 40, 50 people maybe, but it was fun, right? Because I started my morning off with a bunch of people from around the world that had similar views, or different views sometimes, or we could just discuss things, you know, and we would talk about politics, we would talk about life, we would talk about everything, and it was fun. So going back to that and feeling that level of content, that level of commitment again, that community sense that I had lost on the channel, this was the biggest change for the channel, because all of a sudden my subscriber numbers started to explode again, and things were great again. I was starting to make money on YouTube again. And then a few days ago, 4 or 5, I received a copyright strike, as I said yesterday. everything was just starting to look up. You know, life has this way, right? Whenever life is going great and you're cruising along, it will kick you in the nuts. And then it slows you down again. And you could sit down and you could wallow in your self-pity and say, oh my God, life is over. Can I just catch a break? But I didn't do that. I wanted to. That was my first instinct, was to just go, oh, here we go again. I guess I'll just fucking suffer again. Who knows what will happen? That was the first instinct. That's human. We love to thrive on the negativity of life. And I didn't do that. I immediately told myself, you know what, Accolonn? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Maybe this is exactly what you need. Maybe this is a wake-up call for you to really go back to the roots of this channel. A time when you didn't just make videos for the views, right? Where you didn't just make videos and looked at every video that you could potentially make and say, wait, is that going to be 4,000 or 5,000 views, or is it going to be 200 views? Maybe this is a time for you to say, you know what, fuck it, let's just talk about the things that you love and the things that you find interesting, and let everything else just come, because it will come if you actually do what you love. You'll find like-minded people. And that was my thoughts around this. I immediately started thinking positive, and it wasn't even hard. Taking that first step just led to the next step, and the next step, and the next step. I immediately started thinking, right, maybe this is the opportunity I have now to put everything into Twitch and see how far I can grow Twitch in the next 3 months before I can get back to YouTube live streams. And who knows, last night we had the best night on Twitch ever, where we had 122 viewers with 0 hosts. 0 hosts, 0 raids, literally just me sitting down, chatting to you guys. And we had 122 viewers tune in for that. So it was pretty intense and pretty insane. So I'm definitely going to take this by the balls. And I'm going to say, you know what? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And that's the point of that saying. It's to say, we don't have control over the things that life throws at us. Because life is random, it's chaos, it's chaotic theory in its essence. We can't control what is given to us. The only thing we have control over is what we do with what's given to us. Are you going to sit in self-pity and feel sorry for yourself for the things that has happened to you? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to take that first step? And we're often very good at giving this advice, which is not always that good at following that advice. Maybe someone needed to hear this message today. I don't know. Maybe none of you needed to hear it. Who knows? But, you know, it's like that with everything in life. You want to lose weight? It's great if you think about it, but you have to do something about it. If you really want to lose weight, then get off your ass, start working out, eat healthy, lose the weight. You have to do something. And I did this the last few weeks. I constantly kept thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But looking at my eating schedule, I wasn't. So I stuck in a couple of, like a week ago. I just put my foot down again, slammed on the brakes and said, Accolonn, get back to intermittent fasting. Get back to losing weight. You know what the goal is. You know what you want to do. So fuck it. Stop talking about it and do it. And that's generally the problem. We love talking about change, but we don't always love doing it. We don't always love changing, because change is hard. Talking about it is easy. It makes us feel good, and then we can continue for a few more weeks on the same trend before we finally have to talk about it again. So I guess the moral of today's story, the TLDR, if you will, of the 15 minutes, is shut up and do it. That's it. Just shut up and live. There is nothing in this world that is given to you for free. But there is also nothing that this world can hand you that is bigger than what you can handle. And it's not because of some higher power. I don't have religion. So I don't believe that it's some higher power that drives this. I believe it's us. We are the masters of our own fate. And it's strange when people say that, because they think you can influence the things that happen to you. You can't. They will happen regardless of what you do. It's what you do with the things that happen. that turn you into the master of your fate. You have to make those changes. Anyways, I wanted to get this off my chest. I don't know why. Just really felt like this is something I wanted to talk about today. So maybe someone needed to hear it. Maybe no one needed to hear it. And you guys just sat here listening to me ramble on for fucking 15 minutes. But if someone had to hear it, if you need to talk ever, just DM me. I'm here. This channel truly is about community, and I truly do care about each and every one of you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I truly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, boys, girls, and anyone else.